Live from historic downtown San Angelo, this is Fox News First at 6.
Sucks. I know that I'm not alone in feeling like we just need more answers. I know that the police or the FBI or whoever, they have a job to do, and I'm sure they don't want to leak a lot of information, but it's been 7 weeks.
Jen Gibson, a survivor of the Las Vegas shooting, speaking out on the failure of officials to provide any answers as to the shooter, Stephen Paddock's motives. Investigators, meantime, say they are doing everything they can. They have taken apart Paddock's computers, picked apart his gun buying records, gone through his gambling habits and his real estate investments. But so far, no real red flags.
But honestly, I don't know that that's ever going to be something that the public is going to be satisfied with based on law enforcement's investigation.
58 people are dead and several others are wounded after Stephen Paddock opened fire on the country festival from the Mandalay Bay Hotel. This year's Starbucks Holiday Cup is causing controversy yet again, and this time because of the image on the cup. 2 hands holding one another. At least one social media user says it's supposed to be 2 lesbians, and another user is calling for a boycott of the chain coffee shop. The overall design on the cup is drawings that the customers can color. As for the image of the hand holding, people in Los Angeles had no issues.
It's 2 hands, period. End of story. People can read into it whatever they want, but it's 2 hands. I don't get too worked up about it.
In a statement, Starbucks says, quote, "We will continue to embrace and welcome customers from all backgrounds and religions in our stores around the world." Blaine's Pub could very well be called Blaine's Barbecue today because of what they're cooking up to help local charities. When we come back, we'll take a look at that. Not a bad one at all. In fact, pretty perfect day for barbecue. If you were standing where I'm standing right now, your stomach would be growling just like mine. A delicious smell of barbecue has been seeping through our walls here at the station from across the street all day. The annual turkey cookout at Blaine's is cooking up ham and birds to help Contra Valley charities. Our Brenda Matuti shares the tasty details of how they're smoking out the goodness of the holiday season. I'm so hungry. I am so hungry.
I wish there was like a microphone near my stomach. You hear all that rumbling right now?
It is. My stomach is going off.
Man.
I was lucky enough to have a front seat on Friday when those Hawks won the by-district championship, but I know you talked to Coach today. I don't know how I would know that, but you talked to Coach today.
I don't know how you would know that. It's also weird seeing you right there, by the way.
I know. Hi.
But, yeah, I did talk to them, and the biggest thing is trying to keep them focused. You know, obviously that's the biggest thing going on, but we'll have more on that coming up, plus many other things around the area, so stay tuned. Very few teams across the state not to lose a game yet, and it's easier to not stay focused when you've had so much success this season, but the opposite has been the case with the Hawks. They have remained focused despite winning so many games pretty easily. The coaching staff credits the seniors for helping keep the squad on track, which will pay dividends throughout the playoffs.
We lean on our senior leadership a bunch, and we rely on those guys to kind of keep it together. You know, we'll still correct things if they get out of hand, but for the most part, you know, these kids keep everybody in check, and it's really pretty easy.
The Hawks will be at San Angelo Stadium on Friday taking on Jim Ned, so we'll have coverage of that coming up on Friday. And over to Central, where the Cats are coming off another win themselves, and this one was at home, where they've been very successful in getting that first big stop on defense. For the unit, it gives them added confidence because they were able to stop an opposing offense, and it gives back the offense the ball, which is why the coaching staff knows it's very important to get started on the right foot.
If we end up kicking off to them, which is what we want to do, that first 3 and out is really big. You know, we've been extremely successful kicking the ball off in the first quarter and then, you know, holding them.
Now the Cats will hit the road on Friday to take on Mansfield out in Mansfield. I'll have Kenny Matt go out there, and she's going to be covering that stuff, so you can check all the highlights out coming up on Friday. Now to the NFL, where the Cowboys are coming off one of their worst losses of the season. Yesterday we talked about how the offense couldn't put any points on the board, and today let's check in with the defense. Those boys from Dallas held one of the top offenses in the league. The Eagles in check for the first half of the game. They only allowed 7 points, but the second half was a different story. Philadelphia put up 30 points, and some of it was due to turnovers, but a lot of it was the Eagles just making plays and the Cowboys not being able to stop them.
I thought our defense did a good job bouncing back and making some stops after a couple of the early turnovers.
Well, good news for the Cowboys. They get back on the field quickly because they are playing on Thanksgiving with a chance of getting back in the win column. They'll be playing the Chargers, so we'll see what happens on Thursday. Now to the NBA, where the season is about a fourth of the way through, so that means there's still a lot of games left. But surprisingly, well, kind of surprisingly, the Spurs are winning as usual, but doing it without two of their best players in Kawhi Leonard and Tony Parker. They still have LaMarcus Aldridge, which is good for them, but a mix of veterans and young guys are carrying the team right now, which will bode well when both Leonard and Parker come back. The Spurs will be back in action tomorrow against the Pelicans, which I'm not surprised the Spurs are winning these games because, come on, Greg Popovich just has a program there, and they keep on winning, and they keep on winning. So I'm not surprised, but we'll see what happens with them coming up next game. Tomorrow, they'll be back in action. Other than that, stay tuned. We will have more after the break.